Hello again, everyone. Edwin Leonard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about transit Mars making a square, opposition, or inconjunct aspect to one's natal midheaven. Now, when we're talking about transits that involve Mars, this could be about energy, fortitude, courage, drive, motivation, anger, acrimony, initiative, enterprise, and these things, when you look at this transit, when you're talking about transit Mars basically making an adverse aspect to the natal midheaven, I'm going to elaborate on that. Of course, the square and opposition aspects in astrology are adverse and negative, but the inconjunct can be seen as neutral, but an inconjunct aspect can often involve an adjustment, a transition, and of course these things could have tension and can cause some exasperation. So I'm saying it is basically an adverse aspect now collectively. Now again, when you're talking about transit Mars basically making the adverse aspect to one's natal midheaven, well, it may manifest in the energy, vitality, courage, fortitude, drive, motivation, anger, acrimony, initiative, and enterprise. These things may conflict with one's career or laborious work. If you have, say, your natal midheaven is in Capricorn, it could be something with management, or could be the landlord somewhere, some business, dentistry, accounting, even information technology. It could be that you don't have necessarily the motivation or drive to be doing those things at this point in time, or even the enthusiasm to do so. Midheaven is also connected with your stature in life and social status. So those things you may also be lacking the enthusiasm, the drive, the motivation in order to improve that at this point in time. And if you have your natal midheaven in Scorpio, say, it might be something where you might, you may want to make a, strong transformation in that, and or doing something, Scorpio related in order to do that, such as working, it could be an embalmer or coroner, something you feel you could do, but it might not be where you have the enthusiasm in order to do that. The thing about it is, too, when you look at it, this transit, the midheaven is connected also with the dominant parent, which is often the father. It could be anger issues with this person at this time, or the situation may be more acrimonious and contentious with that dominant parent, which is often the father. It could be, like, say, if your midheaven is in Leo, it could be with the dominant parent, which could mean dominant parent could be a Leo sun, moon, or ascendant person, or simply embody those characteristics. Could be someone that's very domineering or controlling, or even you may see that person somewhat arrogant or egotistical. And it may be a situation too. When you look at the midheaven is also associated with notoriety, recognition, and exposure. And the thing is, with this transit, you might not always have, when transit Mars again is basically making the adverse aspect to natal midheaven, it may manifest in not having the drive, the enthusiasm, or the exuberance to even improve, even do things to make yourself more recognized at this time. It could be, if you have this transit and it's opposing the midheaven, say you have the transit like, conjunct the fourth house cusp, and it's making the opposition to the midheaven. It could be where your drive may be more, motivation is more connected with home-related matters at that point in time, and it would be opposing what you would be wanting to do in terms of, notoriety and recognition, because you're more, the drive is more connected with what's insular and what you're keeping, a little bit more private, being in the home, perhaps. So anyway, the midheaven is also associated with success. So you might be, a time where you might be angry, maybe a little bit angrier. Maybe it could be some lack of success, or what you feel is a lack of success at this time. It may be, if you're in a business, maybe it's on a little downside, or it just might be your perception is really such where you feel your success is not up to par, and it might be causing more acrimony and distress at this time, more so than usual. It could also be, I mean, this is remember that the midheaven is connected with our reputation and public image. There may be some battles that you may be going on that might be adversely affecting it at this time. You know, if your, midheaven is in Aquarius, say, it could be, your reputation, say as an astrologer, an astronomer, it could be, as a scientist or somebody, that does something, connected, with computer, could be with computers, such as computer programming or electronics or innovation. Uh, it could also be, a time to, when you look at this, transit as well. The midheaven is connected with our responsibilities, and it could be a time too where you might not, your vitality, your energy may be a little bit low, may be diminished. It might be such where you're having a hard time, whether it's taking action in taking care of your responsibilities, or just simply could be the energy level is simply not there to do them at this time. Um, it could also be, midheaven is associated with our achievements, our accomplishments. It may be a little bit harder, to find the drive, the motivation to accomplish things in general at this time, to achieve something. Um, Say if the midheaven is in Libra, it could be doing something connected with a legal matter, some legality or a lawsuit, um, or it could be, something, with art or arbitration, negotiation, anything that could be Libra related, something where you might be trying to fight for justice. It can also be, as far as this transit goes, I mean, the midheaven is also associated with older people and authority figures. The situation with these people may be more contentious than usual. There may be more combative. Um, you might be more apt to have disagreements at this time if you're in a place where you're a subordinate worker and subservient role and you have a manager or boss to answer to. This could be the time where the situation might be a little bit more difficult with this person, more so than usual. Um, it's also, the midheaven can be connected with attaining authority. So if you're in a position, again, if you're a subordinate or subservient role at your job, and you're trying to, work hard, working laboriously in order to attain a position of authority. It could be such as, like a management position, supervisor role somewhere. You might not have that drive really to do so at this time, or that enthusiasm to actually make this, work harder to make this actually happen and, manifest into reality. Now, also too, another way this transit may manifest, it could be not being motivated or driven, again, to do, something, to do matters connected with your career or to do laborious work. Um, it can be, say if the midheaven is in Aquarius as an example, it could be altruistic humanitarian endeavors or doing something with astrology or astronomy or computers as some examples. Now the situation, again, reiterating what I said previously, the situation with the dominant parent may be a little bit more contentious, maybe more acrimonious, more so than usual, or even an authority figure. Say if the midheaven is in Gemini as an example, it could be a Gemini sun, moon, or ascendant person, or simply one that embodies Gemini characteristics. It could be somebody that's like vacillating or mercurial or contradictory and changing changing their mind often, and it could be something where it may be causing a little bit more exasperation, more so than usual, causing you to feel more agitated. It could also be a time too, I mean, when you look at this transit, where it might be, there may be more difficult to find the courage, the fortitude to attain a greater stature in life at this time. Say, for example, if the natal midheaven is in Sagittarius, it could be doing something with advertising or publishing. Maybe maybe it's somehow connected with foreign travel, making the contacts with foreigners in order to do so. Hold on a moment, people. Sorry about that, I'm back. But anyway, could also be where you may be at this time of this transit, you could be angry, perhaps at matters that are pertaining to your accomplishments, your achievements at this time. If the midheaven, say, is in the zodiac sign Cancer as an example, it could be doing something, cooking or culinary work, home renovation, remodeling, siding, working as a historian. Uh, it could be doing something with rescuing, such as working as a lifeguard. As far as your career goes, and your accomplishments connected with it may just not be, in your mind, it may not be up to par. You may be agitated over this and not satisfied at this time. It could also be a time where a physical injury, which is connected with Mars, can make it harder and more difficult to take care of your responsibilities at this time. And say, for example, if the midheaven is in Scorpio, it could be doing something with insurance or taxes, or it could even be doing something connected with an inheritance or shared resources situation. Dealing with, it could even be dealing with some crisis at this time, in which you might be having a little bit more difficulty, more so than usual at this time, in actually doing so. Or even making a transformation in your life somehow. But anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, people, Edwin Leonard saying, stay well.